Good morning, I'm Kathleen Pate and this is my Alabama Farm Life, and today I have 2 doors that I need to repair. This door and back porch was installed at the beginning of the year, and it's way past time for me to stain the door and seal the patio. And just recently I have discovered that my chicken door is broken and I need to get that repaired too. Let's see if I can get this all done in one day. I'm going to work on the back door and porch first because this is going to take me the most time and it is the most important project. I've got my sawhorses ready and I'm going to go ahead and take off this back door first. There's a lot of prep that needs to be done to this door. It's a little uneven. It's starting to split apart and basically settle. I'm going to pull out my grinder. I'm going to take down some of this uneven wood and get rid of the swollen spots on this door. The frame also has some swelling from moisture, so I sanded that down too. Because I didn't put a finish on this door, I've got a lot of swelling and some peeling going on. I think I got most of the spots that were swollen sanded down on the door and the frame. And now I'm going to take some wood glue and I'm going to see if I can tack all this loose wood down. But first, I guess I need to go find a bottle of glue that actually works and is not dried out. I'm going to use this heavy metal bar on this wood to hold it down while it dries. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to start on the sanding. This door has some weather damage. I've got some algae and some mold growing on it. So I'm going to go ahead and sand it down really well before I start putting in my wood filler. So if you can't tell, this is my first time using wood filler. I'm going really heavy with this because some of these cracks are really deep and I want to make sure that they're filled in really well. Not very pretty, but I still have to sand it. But right now I'm going to let it dry. There is nothing like having an audience when you're trying to get your chores done. This is Rob. He's one of my guard roosters. And I guess he's guarding me more today than he is his hens. So with that drying, I'm going to go ahead and start on my coop door. It's busted at the bottom and I really need to get it fixed. So this bottom piece has fallen off and I've got to figure out a way to get it back on, get it reattached and make it stronger than what it was before. So this is a cheap $30 screen door from Lowe's. And I was hoping to get better use out of it. I've already reinforced it once, but apparently that wasn't good enough, so we're going to do it again. When I took off this board that I used to reinforce the bottom, I found an unpleasant surprise. So I evicted the critters, and I glued the seams and pounded it all back in. I put back my board that I used to reinforce it, and this time I put it up a little higher to give it some more strength. My wire meshing has also pulled free, so I'm going to get my staple gun and get that all reinforced. The door is also sticking when I put it back in, so I actually took it back down, grabbed my grinder, and took off a little bit of the bottom of the door so it would fit better. I finally got the door finished. It's nice and smooth. It seems to be working great, but the frame is still sticking. So I grabbed my battery-powered little Ryobi cutting tool. I took down some of the frame, smoothed it out as best I could, and now it works perfectly. With the chicken coop done, repaired, and back in, I go ahead and focus on my back door. The test filler has dried, so I grab my sander and sand it down to see how it looks. It actually came out pretty good, but it's late in the afternoon and I'm not going to get this done. The weather has been beautiful lately, so I've been able to get back up the next morning and get started on that door again. I'm going to go ahead and finish filling all the cracks on this one side of the door. I feel like I'm using a lot, but I really want to make sure all the cracks are filled. I get the one side done, I flip it over, and I start working on the other side. The interior side of the door really wasn't too bad, but I'm going to go ahead and let it dry now. I'm going to put out my wood sealer and I'm going to start working on the porch. I work on the sides and the handrails, and when I get that done, I go back to the door and start sanding. Most of the door looks great after I finish sanding, but I am finding some holes that I missed, and this spot here where the wood cracked off when I was sanding, I need to fill it in. Just a few spots that need more attention. I get those spots fixed and sanded, but now we're into the next day. I'm done, I'm ready to stain. I am using gloves and an old washcloth to stain the door. So as you all know, life happens and you can never depend on the weather. So all that beautiful weather that we were having was spoiled by some thunderstorms that came through. So my daughter came out and helped me rehang the door. And the door stayed that way for a while. Summer quickly turned into fall, and now I found myself battling the temperatures. To use the water seal, I need 55 degrees or higher for 48 hours. I was able to get one side of the door done, the frame for the door, and some of the porch, but that was it. The temperatures were barely warm enough, and it took forever for the sealer to dry just on this one side. We had rain coming in, so I ended up having to rehang the door and wait for better weather. All I need to do now is just finish the outside of the door and the rest of the porch, and then I'll be done with this project. As soon as I finished the porch, of course, it rained the next day. And then the next evening, it frosted over. I have some no slip strips that I'm going to put on, but I really want this to dry more before I do that. But in the meantime, we realized that we needed better handles, so I ordered some handles off of Amazon. This is a 5-foot interior or exterior handrail that I purchased, and it went up really quick and easy. It took me longer to break it out of the packaging than it did to put it up. I purchased 2 boxes of this 3M safety walk, and I cut them up into 3-foot strips to put on. These are self-adhesive strips, and they actually went on and have stayed on pretty well. It is amazing how a project can go from 1 day to 2 days to several days and then to weeks and months. But it's a project that I have finally finished, and I'm really proud and pleased at how it came out. This just goes to show that with a little persistence and determination, you can get a project done, even if it does take you a couple of months to complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I inspired you to take on these tough projects and get them completed yourself. You guys have a great day.